Right. Hey guys, I'm joined by the one and only Ivan, my brother from another mother. How you doing, mate?
Thanks.
Good stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, just want to say to the usual tribe, Cosmic Crypto, to Ivan's tribe as well on his YouTube channel, thank you for the support. We do get requests to do this more often, so we're trying to make this happen as much as we can. But of course, we've been busy with other things. So today we are going to do the usual crypto or blockchain consciousness update, and then I feel we need some positive energies with all the craziness in the world as usual. So we're going to go into the arts and the cosmic arts of Mozart, how he got his music, as well as Frank Sinatra, one of my favorites. I just want to bring this to delve more into the deep state in those times and the power of singing and music in our lives as well. So yeah, Ivan, before we dive in, brother, do you want to say anything about what you've been doing in your sessions or any energies you've been picking up on?
I've just been doing more conscious channeling. Been doing the, bringing other beings. I've been doing that for a long time. So at least for my daily videos, so the conscious channeling, I've just been getting a little bit more deeper, conscious level, tapping into what's around here. So I feel like there is a change behind the scenes. So just keep doing what you have to do. That's the main
Sounds
thing
good.
right now.
And by conscious channeling, do you mean you're just using your own gifts and tapping into the
Yeah, just
Akashic, or
tapping in.
yeah?
Wherever comes through. Yeah, what I'm allowed to see.
Wow. Well, I just want to tell people, for whoever hasn't had a reading with Ivan, even when Ivan and I do our catch-ups offline, Ivan brings in some invaluable, wisdom and information about our past lives, even just by talking right now. So I highly encourage people to do that. Check you out on your website. I'm sure people can find that. We'll drop it on the link below. And yeah, let's do this, and we'll try and do that channeling, conscious channeling more often, Ivan, just so we can keep the conversation. But let's, if we could, we'll bring in the blockchain consciousness and get some info for our tribes.
Okay. All right. Blessings. Okay.
Blessings.
Greetings to you. We are the blockchain consciousness, crypto consciousness. Greetings to you.
Greetings to you.
Yes, looks like you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm doing very well.
Yes.
Thank you. We love connecting with you, and blessings to you for guiding us through this pretty volatile crypto market. So thank you so much on behalf of me and the Cosmic Crypto Group. So I was wondering if we could open up just with talking about the current market and the manipulation we're seeing with Bitcoin and other coins. So if you could share any insight you have on that.
Yes, but I wanted to say that you are connecting more with nature. I believe you already know this, but you're downloading more energies actually from Akashic. So you're bringing more calmness to yourself, so you can tap into your higher self actually.
Wow. Thank you for letting me know.
So their higher self energy, of course, just helping you see the future. What is, of course, what you need to see.
Yeah.
What is necessary. So with the crypto energies, yes, of course, their governments are now interfering more with it. Even Russia, China is public, Russia is silent. A lot of the hackings is Russia, not necessarily the government itself though, but the origins is coming from there. It's just that's, you can say that's a safe place for them, you can say. Does it mean that they live there? Some do, not all, but they still use Russia as like a base. So they get away with things. So I do see Goldman Sachs still causing difficulties, but we brought that up before.
Yep.
JP Morgan, a little bit more Goldman Sachs, because they're more of the charlatans there.
And speaking of
they're one of the reasons why Bitcoin is low, so they can buy it low. That's why they're manipulating the market.
Right.
So,
And how long do you, because we have a lot of beautiful and amazingly talented psychics like, Michelle White Dove. We have the one that works with the guides, who is our favorite SL369, and she sees the market coming down, with Bitcoin, if we're tracking Bitcoin coming down one last time to maybe $25,000 to $27,000 in the next week or so. How do you feel about that? Is that the sort of timeline you're feeling?
is that some? We feel that because you also have some interferences we're trying to connect with you actually to connect to your question. One moment, we're clearing out the vibrations. Well, we see Bitcoin. One of the reasons why crypto is low to begin with is for it to be easy to purchase for people. That's part of it. Others are just manipulating, but there's a positive to it also. So we see Bitcoin. We don't see the 25 possibly, but we feel more of like the 30 where it's at now. I feel like they don't want to dive it too deep. People lose interest. 29 maybe. I think it's hit that every now and then. If it hits 25, it won't be. It's a possibility, but we're not seeing it as a likelihood though.
Okay.
But it is a genuine prediction though. It's
Okay.
a possibility.
Yeah, and I guess it's a psychological game, especially with the big sort of whales that control the market, like Goldman Sachs, like JP Morgan, and some of the elites. But surely, if they want to fill their bags, surely they're going to drop it right down to 25K region, fill it up, and then people are still going to buy the dip. Not everyone will sell and lose faith. Is that a fair comment?
Yes, but also if other cryptos dive, just the time to buy. Just look at it that way. They will all find, most of them will find a way back up to where they need to be. So it's only temporary.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you led me to the next question. It's going to be, in my opinion, I just want to see what your opinion is going to pick up very fast. As in, once we have this dip, Bitcoin and the rest of the market will shoot up into July and into the summer. Is that correct with you, or will it take longer to recover?
Well, yes, we're going into this new month, so you see, as the end of this month is where much will take off. Some of it might dip, but it's going to be a little bit of exceeding expectations, but also lowering expectations with some of the parts of the market. Around, I believe, the end of this month is what the new month that's coming in right now.
Okay, perfect. So end of July, just to clarify, we're going to see a bull cycle, a movement upwards.
Yes, we do see a lot of unforeseen numbers increasing.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting because, we've been looking at all the data from, again, psychics, from astrological readings, from the charts themselves with all the coins in the market. And I shared this with the group. I had a very accurate reading, which has served me well through the playing cards, which is linked to astrology and places of birth,
Yes,
and my origin of birth. And it did predict. One time I got scammed, one time I had a big gain in February, and now it's predicting around July 10th. I'm in this Jupiter phase, so there'll be a lot of abundance. And I just wanted to for you to tap into that and relay it to the group. Will that be, so that kind of links to July with Jupiter energy?
Yes, it all depends on the person, what they need to experience for mid-July. So it is not for everyone. Of course, markets, timelines are constantly seeing the future is very difficult when it comes to financials because there are you can say timeline wards, you can say, really do shift the vibrations very quickly.
Absolutely.
So sometimes you can see it a day before it happens. So,
okay.
But yes, for what you are seeing, I believe yes is accurate. But for others, they're on a different path, though.
And to speak of the market, and thank you for that. With the market itself, because there's other variables to look at, like the dollar, for example. Is there going to be any financial falls in the stock market or anything to do with the dollar that sort of allows Bitcoin and the crypto market to excel at the end of July?
Well, there'll be rumors.
Okay.
Once again, you've already experienced that.
Yeah.
Maybe not from the same person that's been doing rumors recently, but there will be market rumors. And that's why they've been doing these rumors already. Like it's going to drop, it's going to rise, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. They're trying to move the market.
Yeah.
So expect rumors, just watch the rumors, basically.
Thank you.
Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Right. And to speak of that as well, we've had the Biden administration doing all these tax fear porn things with capital gains tax, to 50, 60%, like stuff to scare people out the market. Now with corporation tax from the G20, I think it is, which is, really just the Illuminati club. And can we talk about potentially Trump coming back in? Do you feel his energies with with any financial markets or with the presidential administration?
Well, yeah, Trump's going to, keep his name out there to rebuild his name. So he's going to act more presidential than the president, from what we see. And he's actually moving the mark. He's like your unofficial president.
Yeah.
So those that predicted him winning may not exactly be wrong about that. He's just a different type of president than you would expect.
Yeah.
He might not be the one in office, but he's still moving things around. So you're just not always making it verbal.
Right.
And that's usually how it works anyway. So.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And it's almost a perfect, way to do it, because it's revealing, the shadow government, the cabal, yes. Biden, and Biden himself and his camp, right? And that's exactly what's needed. Otherwise, Trump would look like, a fascist or, tyrannical leader. Okay, let's talk about, some cryptos, like go for it.
Well, Trump is there to help the markets stay up.
Yeah.
So you notice when he was in office, he kept things up. So it's another reason why he's being, we'll call it used, but he's willing to be a part of it too, because he wants to help people out. Also, he doesn't want things to just completely fall. Things had to look bad for a while, then he comes in when he needs to.
Yeah.
But just show up when the time is right. And some people is like, why now? Why are you doing this? There's just a reason for it. He needs to do what he needs to do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even follow politics these days, as I'm sure many don't, because we just lost faith. But Trump has been doing a lot of appearances on many channels, which is nice to see. I'm not convinced it's the original Trump. I'm sure it's probably a clone or something, but it's the energy that clone can put out is still very positive for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yes.
Love it. And let's talk about London protests. There's been protests. I moved out of the country, and just a lot of psychics said this London protests are quite a big thing for the collective. Is it to do just with vaccines and travel, or is there a deeper catalyst at play?
Well, there is a possibility of, government collapse. A possibility. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. I mean, you're kind of seeing it already with the royals fighting with each other. You kind of feel, the scandals with the Epstein connection.
Yeah.
So it is kind of like the candle is about to blow in some areas. And also there was some, I'm not sure, this is not meet the news so much, but with England and Russia, I believe a ship from Britain went into Russian waters when it's not necessarily supposed to be. Like it was the Black Sea.
Wow. Yeah, I did see that. Yep, I saw that popped up, and it's interesting because they love to stick. Yeah. They love the UK and the US, the wrong side of the US. The Biden administration love to point the finger at Russia for everything as a scapegoat.
Yes.
Especially when the UK went into their waters, from what I heard. So I'm very interested in that. I'm very interested in the fact that from some of our previous sessions, I think we talked about how Russia was not too far from Scotland and the UK because they didn't want to see this mass rollout of vaccinations. Is that is that true? Yeah, which is very positive.
They kind of have to comply. They have to comply to a certain degree, just so they don't get it. Just because, and that's up to the person too. They can put it out there and let the people choose.
Yeah,
and there might be some. It's just some things they have to sign up. Country like Russia, they just have to be a part, of that timeline.
Okay.
A lot of them would just rather not bother with it, but in some ways it does help some people, but there's a lot of propaganda behind the vaccines, that you can see.
And you mentioned a potential collapse. I take it you're talking about with Boris Johnson and the British government, which would be amazing. What can you share with that?
Well, something connected to the Brexit situation, where like the government separations from the people. So it doesn't mean it's going to completely implode, but just a shift in power,
Okay.
such as the prime minister stepping down, possibly. That shows there's been a change in regime. That they make up somebody, or if he gets sick, or if he's been sick, so there you can say yes, there's a clone situation going on there. You can say, but expect some changes with the British crown.
And that aligns. I'm not sure many of our listeners will know, but a guy called Matt Hancock was recently pushed out of Parliament or his position because I can't remember what he was head of health or something along those lines for the UK, but he had an affair with someone that was caught on camera. So he broke, quarantine or a COVID policy. Yes. So I guess these are like precursors to what could be coming.
Things.
Yeah.
Yes, little things. We're not really seeing exactly where like it's going to be a huge scandals. Yes, expect more of those. If there's going to be a complete breakdown of the British government, some are praying for that.
Yeah.
There's a possible. Well, that's one of the reasons why you got that area, because the vibration just was not healthy anymore. Not to say it was healthy before.
Yeah, I agree, and I think my work was done there in London. I'm sure many would agree. That it needs something to happen. I think that's where we're at around the world, not just the UK.
The United States is very connected to the UK. So when you see, and even Israel is going through their little situation. So the prime minister there. So you're seeing a shift happening within powers. Yes.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much. Unexpected, you can say. And just shifting it back to the meme coins, you gave a good shout out with some of the penny coins, which we love to have fun with. The meme coins, which seem to be healing a lot of, helping people with abundance and just healing the crypto industry. Could we talk about one of our favorites, Shiba Inu, and its release of ShibSwap? Is that going to be a huge price movement once that liquidity and staking protocol comes out?
Yes, it's still going to be a slow rollout. Give it a couple of years for it to really take off. It might be sooner than that, but I feel like it's going to take some time for it to go where people's expectations are.
Okay, yeah, and that's true. Expectations are very high for SHIB as well, so I can. But then again, look what happened in February. Around February time, a lot of the group and the lovely members were making hundreds of thousands off maybe $4,000 or $5,000. So there is a lot there. And to be honest, I feel a lot of these meme coins are going from something that's cool and understandable to something that's the real deal, right? Which is for people.
Yeah. As long as you're staying in long term, and even if it goes up and down, you just stay long term, you should be fine.
Perfect. And one of our targets as well for Shiba is in the summer potentially losing 3 zeros. So that would be 2,000-3,000% gain at least by end of summer. Is that more on the ambitious side, or does it seem like it can happen?
Like you can rephrase your question. So you think it's going to lose, or?
So Shiba, because there are so many zeros in the price, I'll say it this way: we could have a 2,000 to 3,000% gain increase by the end of summer. Does that align with what you're saying?
Well, I would half that, but it will gain eventually. Yes, it's good to have predictions like that, but yeah, it's going to be a slow growth there.
And one of again SL369, who's phenomenal, and her guides, many blessings to them. They said they saw a number of men in black suits walking in a vision to invest in Shiba Inu as big investors. Do you see anything with that?
Oh yes, definitely. It happens quite often. Yes.
Yeah,
and that's to overinflate the price. Yes.
Right. Okay.
In due time, they go in there and they prepare it, like set it up for eventually they will hike it up. So yeah, it's hard to predict the future of a lot of these things.
Okay, nice.
Because when they need it activated, they activate it. Yes, you say those that are in God position here, work on the financials because they feel like it's a safe place until they lower the price on everybody. Then they get karma for that. But they know what they're doing, I guess.
Yeah, and it seems to me like Shiba have got
hiking it up, they get good karma when they drop it, that's when it hits them.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes total sense. And especially with the amount of manipulation, they must be really playing around with the wheel of karma. But just to talk about SHIB quickly.
For sure.
For sure, yeah. And just to talk about Shiba, they're doing some interesting things with algorithmic stable coins, which is kind of what we need, because look at the dollar, the pound, and fill in the blank for any other currency. Is that something that they will adopt in the next year or so? Because, for payments, for example, or anything like that?
Oh yes, crypto is going to go very heavily into payments in the next 10 years. It's sooner than that. Or it'll be different companies, businesses will accept different. Right now, they're just playing with the idea. They're still going to continue the cash situation. Now, the US wants to create their own crypto. That one's kind of sketchy because we feel like they're not going to be that successful with it. But we'll see. Because that energy can change. Right now, they're not really putting a lot into it. They say they are, but not really. Because they're just manipulating the other markets right now.
Yeah.
What do we need our own for?
And that's the thing, like anything with worth is manipulated, unfortunately, like silver, precious metals, gold, it's all the same, but crypto is, again, it's going to solve many things with truth, transparency, and of course for an opportunity for the people.
If you can find an opportunity, go for it. Yes, just know the risks.
Absolutely. Well said. And educate yourself. And just to go into the next one, you led me well into Kisha Inu, which is another meme coin, which is doing a lot of payments with Amazon and Walmart and a few other companies. Do you see some big movements in price in the short term?
Oh, well, yes. Well, more long term, but yes. More long term, but yes. Just hold on to it if you want to invest more into it. It will double over time. We don't know when time that, maybe August. We just feel it doubling in the future.
Thank you for that.
Now that one's a healthy one. It's not so much manipulated. It's actually being used in a positive way.
Yeah.
In a more organic way.
Perfect. Yeah, I was surprised to see it. It was advertised in Times Square, in the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. These are, SHIB has done that, SafeMoon has done that, Doge has done that. So this is interesting, right? This isn't just like a stab in the dark, so to speak.
Yeah, this one's more now. Doing what they're doing is more. It's healthier. When you just have an unknown coin, all of a sudden it just boosts up out of nowhere, or you have somebody just says something like with Doge, something else going behind it.
Yeah,
but that one is actually healthy. There is some manipulation, but for the most part, it is growing at a healthy level. It will continue to grow.
And talking about a new one that one of our members, Joseph, brought up today was a newer one, which is currently being launched today or tomorrow, called Daisy Token, which is to do with raising money in a decentralized manner. Do you see anything with that? Anything, price-wise?
Yeah, anything new is good to get on it right away. I mean, even if it goes up to a certain point and just sits there, at least you got in there in the beginning of it.
Yeah.
So so really, if you get anything out of it, anything that we're saying, any new coins, it's good to just throw something in there if you can afford it.
Right. Okay. So the ICOs,
not all are going to make well, but some.
Yeah. I was about to say, the ICOs are higher risk because you have to be patient as well because they've just started. Yeah. Some of them are primed for success, maybe like Daisy Token, or one I really like is Plasm, which has just been, rebranded. But thank you for that. And yeah, ICOs, Poker Starter and stuff like that, that's a good platform to do that as well.
Just if you put something, want to put a lot into it, but if you want to put a little investments, like see where this goes, where you feel comfortable if you do lose something. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
But for the most part, they're going to do well.
Awesome. So do you think ICOs are going to be in a craze again, like we saw in 2017?
Here and there, yes. Ones that you feel is like, I'm just going to get a look. If you feel it within yourself, I'm just going to try it and see where it goes.
Speaking of
wins or not, it's another story.
Yeah, thank you for that. And speaking of with ICOs, we've been told that an AI coin, like Cougar, or ones that haven't come out yet, maybe Google's coin, right? Even though Google has a lot of negative energy, I guess it takes some of us to alchemize that. Do you have any names of the Google coin or anything of that nature? Have they decided?
Or the names, or well, the Google coin in general. We're not seeing a name, but that is a good one. Any of these companies creating their own coin, you can't go wrong with it. Now, Amazon, I think they have one or going to have one. We can't connect to the energy correctly on that one, but Google is still a healthy energy overall,
Okay.
even if it's because it is giving back to people. So it is using their power and resources to help others. Of course, they might manipulate the thing more than anything, but
Yeah,
if you're aware of that, it's like, you know what? Once again, I'll just give it a shot. Can't go
sure.
wrong with it.
Yeah, I would highly encourage people to get DuckDuckGo. I'm sure most people on this do, but that's just me. Google.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
That one won't rise as fast as a Google coin, but that one's more stable than a Google coin though.
right. Okay. And
DuckDuckGo is very still has a healthier internal energy, as you know.
and speaking of ICOs again, one of my friends is launching an amazing coin, which will be working a lot with the Lightworker Starseed community. Could we tap into the coin Rainmaker which is being launched, I believe in September? Do you see anything with that?
Well, it's good to have a build up for it, like a promotion, like Bitcoin Black is doing. Do similar promotional. That's what we recommend. Build up the hype for it, and that will get it to
Well,
stratosphere.
it's interesting you say that, because they actually have a launch party with many NFL players and influencers, and they're giving away a lot to children's charities, which is next week.
Good.
So do you see anything? You think that will be a catalyst for where it goes?
Yes. Yeah, giving it to the charities help.
No. Okay, thank you again to the Blockchain Consciousness. Our question was around Rainmaker and how their fundraiser and their launch next week, giving to the children's charities, will propel it into the future.
Yes, because they're giving money to others. This is helping them. So we see it as a healthy, but people have high expectations, which is healthy to have that. But it's going to take some time for it to grow. But the promotions are excellent for it. Okay. So I believe that's why we had a lost connection there.
Thank you. Well, you're amazing at these. Yeah, thank you.
But yes, it will. Yeah, there's as you probably feel the energy of it, it's a very healthy vibration. And just give it time, because it's growing in a positive, it's in a healthy way.
Yeah.
So it's not going through, elitist control and things like that.
Yeah. Well, it's run by someone I know is an amazing human being. He's and it's very benevolent. It's trying to connect all these different communities and monetize the people for sharing content. That's just one use case.
Promotion is key. So if they're wondering how to grow, just do any type of promotion that is at their, that's the healthy way of going about it.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. And just to go into a couple of other ones as well, could we talk about the update on XRP, on the lawsuit and some of that stuff? What's going on behind the scenes?
Yes, we were seeing that as we were having a conversation. So lawsuits we feel like it's in the middle ground of it, so the attorneys connected to it want to prolong it because they get money from the insurance companies or someone. So now it's a money situation for the lawyers. So they're going to drag this thing out as long as they can, just to let you know. So if it's not greenlit, it's because of that. Technically, it can be done anytime now, but due to the lawyer situation, so to switch. So
wow. Okay.
So
is there anything we can do to to make sure that sort of clears that energy out and move along? Because XRP can help a lot of the people around the world in the banking system, right?
Yes. Well, that's probably one of the reasons why it's being shut down, of course. Yeah. Just put your energies to clear out the blockages within the attorneys and things like that. But it's kind of, it got its attention, by being probably too good for people. And so it's kind of like Excalibur in some regard. It's like cutting through a lot of the old energies. So it got stopped.
Wow, I love the way you put that, and that makes total sense because it is razor sharp and fast. And yeah, I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And okay, just to talk about a couple others, before we leave you, can we talk about Bitcoin Black? What's going on? Because we have this disjointed nature between the marketing team, who are amazing volunteers and great human beings, and the developers, the founders. So what's going on with the delays with the IEO and just going live? Because the community,
it feels like, yes, it should have been made public a long time ago. It feels like it has all it needs to. Something to do with the founders are they're still in building momentum for me. It will go live eventually, maybe this year, possibly. Maybe August. Don't cut it. Yeah, it's up to the founder. They feel like they're holding back. They want more funding for it, from what we see.
Okay.
To build up this technology. I feel like they don't feel like it's ready yet, even if it technically is.
Yeah, because they're doing quantum resistant technologies. I guess they've done quite a few seed rounds with some of the public like us, but I understand they had a lot of people trying to claim airdrop tokens falsely and copying wallets and all this stuff as well. So they have had a bit of bad energy to clear, or trickster energy. So surely, hopefully that's positive for them coming out in August.
August or March. It's not clear when it's going to come out. It might be next year, the way they're going at this point.
Yeah.
So, but it has to do with funding. So they might take that, whatever funding they get, and just extend it for even longer. It might even go for years, the way they're going at this point. It might be sooner, but they're not quite ready. Technically, like I said, it's ready to go on the market right now, but they're,
Do you think there's some fear from the? Do you think there's some fear from the founders about going live?
Correct.
Because it's such a paradigm shifter in a way. Yeah.
There's a lot of hesitance there. Yes.
Okay.
From what you feel, they are kind of afraid of being manipulated, the coin being manipulated, and they might not be prepared for it. Also, hacking, they're a little bit worried about that too. So they're worried about a lot of things, and they don't know if they can handle it.
Right. Okay.
It's funny how the coin that you mentioned that your friend's working on is at a more stable energy. Bitcoin Black is kind of always going to be a little bit of an enigma.
Yeah. I felt that too. I still feel very positive about it because, the community's so strong. It sounds like the founders and developers they have a lot of integrity, and they're trying to make us a much better financial system. However, that does come with, fears, the more human fears, which I understand. I'm sure we'll pray for them and try and help them be strong. And I'll do my best to speak with the team as well, because it's a lot to take on, especially when it's to do with financial technologies. Look at what's happening to XRP we just talked about. So that makes total sense.
Yeah. So it could be a few more years, to be honest with you.
Okay. Thank you for that. And just a couple other ones as well. Can you share any cryptos or any projects you think, energetically is going to be our best to look at, to bring our focus to in the summer of this year?
Well, the only thing we can tap into is the ones that you're already aware of.
Okay.
Is there some that you want us to tap into? It's easier for us to.
Oh, yeah. I wish we could. We don't have all the time in the world, but the one, thank you for the offer. And the one we just wanted to talk about, which we haven't, are the moon coins, which we talked about previously. We talked about Meta Moon and Safe Moon and Moon Token. Do you see anything with the moon energy, with anything going on happening?
Yes, it's not going to always be the quickest build up, but it's going to be healthy energy. We do see a coin now. We don't, because we're astral right now, by the name of T or titanium or something around those lines. If you know of a coin like that.
How about Tyrion? There's one called Tyrion, TNT.
That's close enough. We're seeing more titanium, but
okay.
But yes, that coin, you can look into that. Or
I will. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
And-
so we'll just have to do that the best we can. For that.
Okay, well, I'll do some of the 3D research, and we always appreciate that. And is there anything else you'd like to leave us with about the crypto market, or just in general for our collective on Earth?
Well, we're just saying that this is going to be a little bit cryptic, but cryptos in the letter T, like start with a T. Just scan with your energies. There's some in there that are kind of snuck in there that not many people are getting much attention to. They're actual gold mines there.
Wow.
Q
Okay.
also is another one, but T is I know it sounds a little bit strange, but yeah, T.
Okay, T or
Just with the letter
Q.
T. It starts with a T or it starts with a Q. Just go by your own vibrations of that.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. There's theta, TNT, which are meant to be very
Correct.
big. You know, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Yeah, there's many. There's quantum, which is meant to be a huge one for Q.
Yes.
T
Quantum
fuel.
is good. Theta is very healthy.
Okay.
T fuel, okay. Theta is very healthy from our perspective.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
Quantum is a very good one too.
Many blessings. Thank you, blockchain consciousness. And yeah, we'll speak again soon. It's becoming a regular thing.
Yes. So blessings to you.
Blessings. And thank you. And could we
Yes,
call in?
Someone you want me to bring in?
Yes, please. Could we call in? We'll start with Frank Sinatra.
Yes, of course. Greetings to you. This is Frank Sinatra. Greetings.
Greetings to you, Frank. Thank you for joining us.
I'm not getting as much attention as I'm used to on your planet.
I bet.
Ego enjoyed all the. I wasn't too big of an Elvis fan, but I respect him.
Wow, that's crazy you say that, because I was just listening to Elvis in the car. You probably knew that, didn't you?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So yeah, Frank, thank you for joining us. I wanted to call you in because, you know, people need hope, and what better place to find hope and strength and inspiration in music. So I wanted to call in your energies. Let's start off. Whereabouts are you right now? Are you physically incarnated in any system or planet, or are you in the astral? I'm
in the astral, but I do help many people learn how to sing. Children, birds, plants. No, it sounds a bit strange with plants. But anything with a sound, even plants, they sing at another vibration. You don't hear it here, but it is in another frequency. Yeah, just to keep releasing karma is why I came. Now I feel like my music was for the ladies and Elvis is for the girls, but that's just me. Well said. Yeah, I can totally resonate with that. And I know Elvis was a bit of a threat to you when you were incarnated. Yeah, he ruined my career. Not necessarily, but yeah, I kind of just love it. What is this? Well, I'm a big fan. Bing Crosby, I was a big fan of. Bing Crosby I was like a different version of Bing Crosby, and he really got on the mic. Sometimes this stuff was great. So we're part of a different era. Elvis showed up, was like, what is this? It's the rock and roll, man. That's the thing. It kind of shook things up. I'm a massive fan of what you did, and yeah, I would agree. And just to go into that, tell me more about your life here on Earth when you in this life as Frank Sinatra. Like, were you here in a benevolent nature? Did you lose your way? If you could just go into your life. Well, yeah, I guess you can say my ego was all over the place. So I guess you can say it was kind of sold myself out. Yes, I had connections to the mob actually quite early. I just thought I was, I deserve I deserve fame. Mm-hmm. And it was my destiny. But yeah, I did kind of smoked way too much. That was like my downfall with smoking. Of course, drugs show up, but smoking was really my downfall. But yeah, I kind of went into a negative state. It had to do with just the music business was changing. I wanted to stay the same, and just felt it was just it was hard for me to change. I wanted to keep the times the way it was forever.
Yeah. I have a deep sort of yearning to go back to those times for music, for style, for the gentleman. Of course, not all men were gentlemen, but just to go into
Oh,
that as well, going back into your early years, I'm, pretty well read up on your story. And I mean, you were born into obviously a hard place in Hoboken, right? With the mob, with the Irish, the
yeah.
Italians. So, I mean, how deep were those mob connections,
Oh,
Yeah.
very. I mean, it was pretty much right. Yeah, as I said, like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I tell you this: there are worlds that are, you can say, brother versions of Earth that are in the 1960s for a long time. It's kind of like you're in the Middle Ages
Yeah.
for a long, like hundreds and hundreds of years.
Wow. Wow, that's
So,
crazy.
so,
Interesting.
and there's the 50s also that's like that. There's worlds that are connected to those timelines. So,
And speaking of, let's relating this to, we'll go into music again, but just to talk about you further on into your career when you really started becoming,
mhm.
frankly, all blue eyes and, becoming a phenomenon. Could you talk about your political connections to JFK, to him was he felt like a brother energy to me? Was it to better serve humanity? Could you tell us more about that relationship?
Well, but honestly, yeah, he kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I think it was too honest. We're after each other's women, to be honest with it. So that's why I didn't like the guy. I mean, maybe on surface I looked like I liked the guy, but on the relationship level, I was like, oh, who is he? Who does this guy think he is? This is my turf. Get your own man.
Love it. And
So,
was
a movie star. The movie star, I really wanted to take that to the next level. I knew I wasn't the real movie star, but that was really, if I can make that work, that was kind of, I mean, I did the best I could, but that
yeah,
was really where I went. Like,
you
it
won.
was a detective or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you won an Oscar. Was it From Here to Eternity? And what was the big one? The one I'm interested in was The Maturing Candidate, which has a lot of disclosure and
Yes.
truth about mind control. I mean, how did that come about, and
Yes.
why would you do that role?
Well, you knew that it was like a government connection there. We just knew not to talk about it, but we knew something was up. To us, we looked at it as a story. But overall, we knew it was like, maybe there's some truth to some of this. Maybe it was a little bit, it's like, we just didn't think that deeply into it. It was just a job. It was fiction, but as we were doing it, making the movie, it felt very real. It's like,
Mm.
this can possibly really. I mean, technically, music is kind of a mind control. It depends, but it can do stuff to people.
Mm.
So it wasn't that far fetched, actually.
And how much of your music, I mean, Frank, you were very open about talking about other people, composers, arrangers, even women who wrote some of your songs, but how much of that was your true sound from your soul? I mean, because we do hear about musicians getting hijacked from, CIA, from other, sort of malevolent beings. Could you share more about that?
Well, it was all from me, but you can see it was all coming. But yes, as I got older, I became more like a tool. So my songs were really my songs anymore. This wasn't me anymore. So as I got older, yeah, it wasn't the real Frank anymore, you could say. So the Manchurian Candidate, that was kind of like showing he's like, I'm not really on your side anymore as I was. So for me to be in a movie like that shows you kind of, my soul is kind of taking a different direction now.
Right. Okay.
So like the old music is me, the later not so much. I think you can pick up on the energies of that.
Wow. And how conscious were
Sometimes I'm
you?
there.
How conscious were you of that?
Not very conscious. I just wanted liquor and female relationships. So, that's when your mind's only on that, power. You get power becomes more of you just kind of go with it.
Yeah.
You're not always aware of how you're being influenced.
Yeah. And I think it's pretty noticeable when you started becoming closer with like Nixon and stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's not a good energy, it's kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
speaks for
Yeah, I
itself.
should be just doing music and movies and staying away from all that.
Agreed.
So it
Yeah.
shows I've been kind of hijacked, but
Yeah.
honestly, not really noticing it in my own self. Just my ego was just kind of oh, I'm being directed towards this. I'm being like, I must, maybe I can be president or something. That was
Yeah.
really, my mind was like all over the place. So,
And let's go deeper
and I
into
knew a lot of
that.
stuff with the mob.
So obviously like alcohol, some drugs, which I wasn't familiar, there was some, probably some sleeping, pills and other things involved back in those days, right? But let's go deeper into that. Were there's childhood traumas? Was it traumas with women? Because that seemed to be the repetition that kept happening. What was going on deeper down in your ego or personality?
Well, mostly just how I was raised. Yeah, trauma of just how I was raised. Feel like I'll never amount to anything. And then just having my voice, like, kind of like even the musicians today, they feel they'll just be nobody's the rest of their life. And all of a sudden, their voice just takes them somewhere.
Yeah.
So I just followed that. I just wanted to sing and kind of like being directed spiritually to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I had no idea I was going to be Frank Sinatra.
Wow. Yeah.
I figured I'd just be a guy, just living a normal life, basically.
Yeah, because I read that you would sing at your mum's bar as like a little child, and you had a squeaky voice, and then all of a sudden you took it more seriously. Yeah. So could you talk more about
singing? Voice.
I'm fascinated by, I love to sing, and as an actor, this is why I'm very resonant with you in many ways. But it's singing for everyone, even if you're not a good singer. How important is it for your own healing, for your chakras, just for your confidence?
Oh, for people that say feel like they're not a good singer, obviously, if you have like a real messed up voice, which is almost comical, if you have the funny with it, that's great. But those that really take it seriously, they might not have the most, like they can sing in churches and stuff like that, and it sounds decent. Let's put it that way.
In the chorus,
those are like you're really good. Doesn't have to be on. Then go for it. Yeah. Those that have like squeaky voices and really should not be singing at all. That's a whole nother story.
Come on, Frank.
It's like a whole. I mean, just like if you see the comedy of what you're doing, embrace it. But if you have like a real beautiful voice, you don't need to be on concerts or anything, and people just love your voice and just see really no difficulty with it. Just take it to the moon.
Yeah.
Seriously. And
it's absolutely
beautiful gift for others.
Fly me to the moon. I couldn't resist.
Think of the souls that you're helping. Yeah. Even if your own life is not going, because a lot of singers live in poverty. It's like, I'm living in struggles. I can be a singer. I could do somebody. But if you're singing for people, just keep doing it. And it doesn't have to, it might hit the big time in some form or another.
Yeah. And I honestly feel like it's super activating for your own mood, which affects your DNA, many of your interdimensional bodies. Speak of that, Frank. From now, you're on the other side. You're in the astral. Can you see the power in singing and sound in transmissions and activations?
Well, yeah. So you choose to sing for other people. So you're singing to their traumas, to their difficulties. But you have to go through difficulties yourself. Is to be able to put those tones out to help other people. So you're really doing it for other people, helping them through their lives.
Right.
So everything that you're going through, even if it is poverty, which many singers go through, let's put this out there again. So many singers that really want to make it big, just so they can do this more full time. They're there where they are for a reason, to sing to that small group. It's to keep that small group of people at a balance, which is very, very important. Because you have an intimate connection to you also. And if you get big, you can't have that anymore.
I agree.
Yeah. So, but you're singing from your higher self. You're basically singing for others. You're just helping them through, keeping them living, helping them through their lives. That's really what singing really is.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's brilliant. Thanks for sharing that. And just to go deeper into today's music, what are your thoughts on everything with today's music? I mean,
it's really, there are some artists that are really excellent. They're not getting the attention that they should. There's still a lot of creativity. All that's still out there. It's just not getting the light it should. There's still a lot of, so anyone that still wants to be in music, please do. It just gets shut down, overshadowed. Oh, your stuff, because all the no talent energy that you see is getting a lot of, that's called talent these days.
Yeah.
But there's so many talented people that are not getting the attention that they deserve. But
Agreed.
It's just the energy of the earth right now.
Yeah, I hear you, Frank. I used to work in the music industry 3, 4 years ago before I got into film, and it was really bad. It was all to do, like every record exec I met, they would talk about how many followers and data,
Yep.
so they've made it really not just
Yeah.
corporate, they made it very AI. Think about the sounds, compared to your day. Now it's like very trappy, mechanical music. But I feel in my heart there is going to be a surge, a mini renaissance again in music and film.
Mhm.
Could you talk more about what you see on the other side?
Yes. So here to say my time was how clever can you make your song? How catchy can you make it? How singing in the rain, things like just how inventive can you be? That's still here. It's just not the record executive where that's more the lead's energy. They're just as long as they make money, they don't really care at this point.
Yeah, I agree. And they're stifling the sound and keeping it in a minimal range. It's like when Mozart became, what he was becoming, Mozart when he was a prodigy, he was doing all these ranges and octaves and notes, and people were like, whoa, what are you doing? So I guess like breaking out of that is intense, and re-innovating in music is tough, because you set the stage. 60s, 70s music with all sorts of genres are incredible, and even in the Law of One and other, Return of the Bird Tribes with sacred, what I consider very true sacred texts. They talk about the 60s and 70s. They had melodies that would awaken human beings just by listening to their music. I mean, the 60s hippies and the revolutions, right? Could you share more about that, and relating it to your music as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, that was like during your hippie times. It's more like the bird was really singing strong. So you probably feel like a lot of bird people that are just how hello darkness my new friend or something like that comes to mind. It's just it's really the soul was allowed to sing. Nowadays it's the elite. I believe this is important for me. The elite, as you said, the elite just want the money, especially in movie and music. They just want the money. They don't care what they're putting out there anymore, as you just can tell. But that's going to come back to them eventually. They might even take most of what's been created out and just throw it all out. On an astral level, because they don't want people to know too much about themselves. So that's why they've been shutting down art. It's like if people start, especially going to the spiritual movement now, it's like that's going to make them, because they'll lose their power. They don't want to lose their power, so they shut art down so they can stay in power for at least a little bit longer. But as you start breaking through that, which it will happen eventually, and Hollywood and everything, nothing's going to be the same again. But during those 60s, the 70s was the year of the bird. 80s was of the, what that was, just some kind of sleep-inducent rock people, just even rock and roll, even literally rock people are singing. Like heavy metal stuff. It's like literally rock energy. I know it sounds a little bit strange, but mountain energy is just strange. Psychedelic beings.
I would agree.
Prince is a psychedelic singer.
I would agree with you, Frank. I mean, music, of course, as you know, is entirely subjective. However, there are some rock bands, like for me, Creedence Clearwater. There are many others, even parts of Led Zeppelin, that are melodic and beautiful, and then it gets a bit too heavy as time goes on, or too lost. With punk rock, it's not my thing, right? I like activating music, and of course, I love the 50s and 60s, just because it's so classy. It was very straight, which I love, and it was all about the voice, about the voice.
And the 80s was right. 80s just had to shake things up a little bit. It still had a lot of classics that came out, but it went. That was more like your Archon reality that was coming in. It was showing a different side of society that you needed to go through. A drug infused, drug, the it's more like the psychedelic realm. 70s and the 80s was more your psychedelic. 90s, So actually, 90s was the synthesizers, more your artificial intelligence, as you probably can tell.
It sounds like it. It was awful. I was not a fan of that as a kid. And Can we talk about, me as an aspiring singer, just as part of my art, and other people? I know Lisa, one of our group, is a fantastic, operatic classical singer. Could you share more about how we can work with you, Frank, and how we can call you in? But specifically, is there a way we can, work with you?
Well, my energy would come in, or any musician, just the range of where your voice can go, how far you want your, without burning your, your lungs out. but just see a high range is really, that's what gets everyone's attention. But it does shift the vibrations also.
Right, that
But
makes sense.
sing from the heart, really, what it comes down to it. Anything you want to sing, do it for yourself. The more creative, or you want to sing a song you created, or want to try. Even creativity here, some people don't want to hear creativity. You're not used to creativity anymore.
Yeah, true.
So it's hard to be creative
agree.
these days.
I think people have really kept themselves. You see it on, I don't know if you follow movies these days, but look at Netflix and some of these big things. It's when I walk in a room, I don't watch this stuff, even though I'm a giant film fan. I see copy and paste like content, even though it's a different story. It may as well be the same energy. It's just very strange to me. Of course, there are other filmmakers and musicians who are bending those rules or breaking those rules, which is great to see. But yeah, Frank, is there anything else you feel we need to know about, with what's going on in the world, with all the energies right now that you see?
Energies right now, it's kind of stagnant. You are going through a transition of knowing more of yourselves. So really the soul is coming out more, of diving into just the strange, even esoteric realities, whatever reality, even like almost like the surrealist realm, which is the dream realm. So you're just connected to a realm that you're just not used to. Many are just, they want something new. So you're going to go into, you're going to have a renaissance, but not yet, but you're heading into it. So Renaissance takes a while to get to that.
Oh yeah,
Renaissance time period.
Yeah.
So that's what you're building up to, a new Renaissance, truly, an artistic Renaissance where people can make movies on their computer, where that becomes easier because technology is getting easier now. It's going to get easier in the future, and we don't need Hollywood as it is anymore, which will be interesting. Because technically, right now, musicians don't really need, they don't really need the music industry, technically.
Yeah.
We just need to promote.